Black perspectives haven't always been centered in the telling of America's story. Now, we're taking center stage. Introducing NPR's Black Stories, Black Truths, a collection of Black-led stories from NPR's podcasts. Search NPR Black Stories, Black Truths wherever you get your podcasts.
The proposed budget for the city of Bloomington next fiscal year is nearly $332 million. It would be 14% higher than the current spending plan, or a $41.5 million jump. In this conversation with WGLT's Charlie Schlenker, Mayor Mboka Malamwe explains where the increase goes.
Most of it is due to capital projects. We also do have some equipment out of the fire department, fire engine, ambulances, things that we have to do sooner rather than later, because there tends to be a delay in being able to procure that equipment. But there's also wages, of course, pension contributions to public safety.
Nearly half of the next budget, $159 million, is public safety and capital. Mm-hmm. You highlighted a couple of those, but what are you doing on streets and sewer?
On street and sewer, same thing. We're going to have about $10 million, in terms of street resurfacing, just like we did last year. So that's a major commitment that we're making as a council, something that we have committed to, because we know those are the things we hear most from constituents. So, and it's a lot more than what it used to be in the past. I always like to remind people, when I started on the council, we had some years where we didn't spend a whole lot of money on street resurfacing, and now this is something that you're going to see consistently over the next few years. And there is also the Locust Colton combined sewer overflow elimination project that's on the books, and we have to finish that up. We also have about $32 million, I believe, for state motor fuel tax. So that's where, a lot of it is going.
Break it down for the taxpayer, would you? That 14%, $41 million increase, how much of that is on the taxpayer? How much of it is grants from somewhere else outside the city of Bloomington? How much of it is natural revenue growth from sales tax that is just a part of the natural life cycle of a taxpayer? Yeah,
it is. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. We are seeing quite a bit of an increase in terms of our tax revenues. If you look at state income tax, property replacement tax, home rule taxes, we're also seeing an increase even in hotel motel tax. So that's where quite a bit of that is coming. But there is also some projects that we're going to use reserves, because that's something that we were planning for when you talk about water and things like that.
The Human Relations Commission has not met since August. It's been difficult to get a quorum. The terms of all but one of the current members have technically expired. What is your progress on finding new members to appoint?
Yeah, so that's something that we are looking at. I was made aware of that, so I talked to the staff, to take another look at that. And one of the things that typically I try to do, we do get people who apply for boards and commissions, but sometimes there is, some boards and commissions are more popular than others. What I try to do is to look at, the possibility. Oftentimes I'll have the staff reach out to individuals that have not been able to be placed. And then we'll ask them if they will be interested in serving on another board or commission. So there will be, that's something that we're working on.
Do you personally recruit?
Yeah, sometimes I do. There are people that I see wherever I can. I talk to people about it and say, hey, we have boards and commissions, and really we look forward to having just about anybody in the community serve.
Why is it so difficult to find people for boards and commissions?
I think it is just because, for one, it's a volunteer position. People are very busy. Some people are naturally more geared towards public service, and others are simply not interested. And I think for some folks, for example, that I can think of. So, if you are somebody who who has a low income, moderate income, I think volunteering is a luxury. People are working two jobs and trying to make ends meet, so that can make it very difficult. But also just given the nature of some boards and commissions, some people just have a low interest in it.
This is Sound Ideas. I'm Charlie Schlenker. We're talking with Bloomington Mayor Mboka Mulambwe. Are there other boards and commissions that have a similar issue to human relations? Lapsed terms?
I'd have to take a look. I do know, for example, the PSCRB, where we've had a significant issue with that, is that we, with the youth members, that's difficult to recruit 17, 18-year-olds, and then just the nature of the board, they come off after about a year. It makes it kind of difficult. I mean, I think it was one of those things that was interesting, in theory, looked promising, but the practicality of it is something that we have to contend with.
It's worth noting that you are far from the first mayor to have a vacancy problem on boards and commissions.
Yes, thank you.
Part of the work of the Human Relations Commission is to investigate and mediate discrimination complaints. How important is that work to you?
It is. I think it is very important, and that's something that I'd like to see us make some progress on. One of the things that I should also mention, so like I said, I have city staff, looking into the issue, meeting with the chair of the Human Relations Commission, and see, how we can address that.
If people are interested in serving in some fashion, in volunteering with the city, what should they do?
Well, they can certainly, I've had people reach out to me personally by email. But on the city website, there is an application form that they can fill out. And for those who might not be as technology savvy, they can certainly go to the hub and request an application and fill it out in writing.
The city is going to allocate about $800,000 in community development block grant money. How are you going to parcel that out?
The general gist of CDBG is to make sure that we eliminate blight, but also keep our affordable housing stock and also provide quality services through institutions, organizations like Home Sweet Home and Prairie Legal Services and things like that. So there's about 390 some dollars that's going to go to... Sorry, 1,000, yes. Yes, that is going to go to housing rehabilitation. I think about...
Are those grants to individuals or landlords? How do you maintain the housing stock? What is the city doing?
Yeah, those would be to individuals. I think they will be able to provide up to 12 for grants for people to rehab their homes and continue to keep it livable.
That's Bloomington Mayor Mboka Mulambwe. He spoke with WGLT's Charlie Schlenker.
Black perspectives haven't always been centered in the telling of America's story. Now, we're taking center stage. Introducing NPR's Black Stories, Black Truths, a collection of Black-led stories from NPR's podcasts. Search NPR Black Stories, Black Truths wherever you get your podcasts.